Hello and welcome to the Talk and Tell podcast. I'm your host Teddy, as today I'm being joined once again by...
Hayden.
And so today we're going to be talking about the tmnt 2012 Season 1 Episode 16, The Pulveriser. So, what did you think of this episode, briefly?
Briefly, this episode was very confusing for me. It was just a lot to take in this episode, and I'm not gonna lie, this episode was a bit of a crazy one. Most crazier than others, so that's saying something, so. But yeah, crazy episode, this one.
I thought this episode was okay, but oh my god, I really don't like Pulveriser.
Oh, you and me both.
Okay, so I feel like we're all on the same page for this.
Yes, thank you.
Great. Okay, well, I feel like we should probably start the episode off in the right way. Let's talk about the Krang. So yeah, they're there looking out for the power cell. There's not really too much there. But then afterwards we got Donnie comes in with the new turtle vehicle called Shellraiser. What do you think of the scene, and what do you think of the Shellraiser?
I'm just gonna say hands down, how the hell is Donatello still in the sewers? I'm just saying this because he's converted an alien power source into electricity, and he's somehow decked out Leatherhead's tram car or train car, whatever, into like a full, just a machine of, like, I just don't understand how, one, where he gets the time, two, the resources, and just how he can just convert anything with his mind. And the scene where Donatello comes out with the Shellraiser, which Mikey named, which is pretty cool in my opinion, it's just so weird. Like, how did he build it on, like, how did he just get the exit and the entrance to work? Like, the whole building is like still supported up, and of course the whole floor lifts up, and of course it comes off the tracks, and it was too much. Like, I was just trying to figure out how it even works. Like why is he still in the sewers? I just don't get it. With his mind and tech, he can just rule the world, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll just say that. So the joke with Mikey finding gum and load or they gets distracted DC. Oh, I thought that was a bit lame. But the Shellraiser, I do think that's I'd say it's like a really cool, really cool design, really cool name. And when you do look at all the other turtle vehicle or main vehicles, this one definitely stands out for its own reasons. And I feel, and because like all the other one or the ones which we saw before this version, they were all basically the same, basically a car type thing. And the only difference was the like paint and the overall design. But this one was, I feel like, was really unique with being a subway. And then later on, we do get some more of the weird one. Or we've only got one weird one since then, which was a tank. But yeah, I feel like this is like a really good start to show off like the more wackiest side of Turtles in terms of the vehicles and stuff like that. I do think that Raph had the worst position in the Shellraiser, with him just being on the weapons, just because he may not be able to shoot at anything when going out. And yeah, also with the trapdoor thing, I don't understand how the wall was able to swerve around and then was able to have like a trapdoor with the pavement. This is just not possible.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like, I just kept watching it. I'm like, how the hell does this work? Like, he's got the building right. He's got to support the building somehow and get the hydraulics and the supports in there. Just ain't realistic. I'm just saying, it ain't realistic.
Cool, we're not even like 5 minutes into this and we're saying it's unrealistic.
Yep.
I mean, the thing which I found a bit more weird was the fact that when it was on the road, it more or less covers up the whole road while driving. I don't understand that. And then it even does like, what's it, wheelies? You know, when it goes around in circles. How was the whole vehicle able to fit onto the road and not break anything?
and I'm just throwing this out there. How did no one see it? Like, I'm just saying, there were hundreds of people out in the streets, and no one saw it. No one decided, oh my gosh, let me film this. Like, no one ever. Like, they were blasting out music they were definitely heard, but no one was looking. They were just thinking, oh, it's just another Tuesday night in New York City. It's like, is that? It's like I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I had in my notes as well, saying that it's not stealthy. I mean, that's basically the whole thing. Is that it's supposed to be stealthy, and this to be a ninja, and yet they go out in something like this with armed with like weapons to kill people. You know, that's so stealthy and blends in.
And definitely, it's got a giant cannon on the roof that fires trash
Yeah.
bags and sewer drain lids and vice versa. I just don't get it, honestly.
Well, I guess everyone in New York has something like that.
I guess everything's bigger in America.
Yeah. Well, we do get to the next scene, which is a bit more. I'll say, well, at least we're on the same page. We get Pulverizer's entrance. And the thing is, even though I don't like Pulverizer, I will say this. He has a really cool entrance. That's the only good thing I'll say about him.
Yes, that I agree with you. Like the line where he says like, "Oh, you didn't pay for that, but I can take cash, check, or teeth." That was pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely seems more like something like a Marvel character would say. But for some reason, it works so well in the show. And especially going up against the Pearl Dragons, which is almost to say like the perfect type of villain for this type of character. Shame he didn't win the fight though.
Yeah, that was a bit embarrassing.
Yeah. So about the scene. So what did you think of the scene with him finding the Pearl Dragons, and then the Turtles find the Purple Dragons?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, the pulverizer, well, got pulverized by the purple dragons,
Oh god.
and that was a bit embarrassing to watch. I was like, okay, there's a new character. His name's the pulverizer. Let's see what he's got, and then of course he absolutely fails, to be honest. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work, is it? But we'll see in future episodes. But I just watching him fight was just. I'm not gonna lie, I was with the turtles. I was like, yikes! I was just not enjoying it. I was like the turtles. I was just sitting there like, yeah, this ain't looking good. And of course, when the turtles come in to fight the purple dragons and help the pulverizer, that was pretty good. Just seeing it. But then of course it went a bit downhill from there when the pulverizer got in the way of Mikey's nunchucks and he got caught instead of Fang. And I'm like, really, really, this kid is just. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, my frustration was building with Pulverizer. I'm like, you let him get away. You let him get away. It's like, why? Just why? You should have just taught him a lesson right there, Mikey. Just to say no. Just go home. Get out of your pajamas and go home.
Okay, before we move on to my opinions on the scene, do you think that do you think Pulverizer is better than a Krang or worse than a Krang or equal to the Krang?
Oh, that is a difficult question to answer because in this episode we see I'm not too sure. Krang is a bit different in this episode, and of course the Pulverizer is still the Pulverizer, but oh my god, I think they're equals.
Ooh, okay.
What do you think?
I mean, the thing is, I never really had much of a problem with the Krang anyway. I'll say for me, like, real hatred towards the Krang is all my hatred towards Mikey. I mean, I don't hate Mikey, but I have problems with Mikey. And, but I would say that Pulverizer is probably one of the worst characters in the show, just because of just how annoying he is. And I thought, like, it basically made another Mikey character, but more or less just as one person who did comment on for this episode, saying basically Pulverizer has no redeeming qualities, unlike Mikey. And the thing is that is so true. Pulverizer does not learn in a way, and he doesn't really go beyond that. And all the flaws that Mikey has, they're really push your limits with this with this character. It
Mm,
just makes it so hard to watch with this episode in particular. But yeah, with this scene, I do think that Pulverizer did deserve to be beaten up by Pearl Dragons. Um,
I can agree with you on that one for some other reason. I actually sympathise with you on this.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't want anyone to get beaten up, but I feel like he deserves it with just how annoying he is. And I know that might sound a bit
Mm,
mean because I can more or less go, oh yeah, that person, and let's beat him up or anything. But at the same time, it's him.
yeah, it's him. It's just him.
Yeah, I also felt that with the fight between the Trolls and the Pole Dragons, I felt like they were held back. I'm not just saying that because of Pulverizer, but I'm just saying they weren't really. I think like the best way to describe one thing about the scene was the fact in when they first met the Pole Dragons with Murakami, they went all out and actually beat them up and was a pretty decent fight. But this one, it didn't really feel as good as that one. It felt like they were held back. I'm not just saying that because the Pulverizer was there, but I think you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, I guess I can see where that's coming from, but I agree with you. Like Pulverizer is like the main flaw in that fight. It would have been a good fight if Pulverizer wasn't there. If you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this whole episode would be a lot better if Pulverizer wasn't there.
Oh yes.
Pulverizer's costume. It reminded me of this group from the 80s show called the Crooked Ninja Turtle Gang, which is basically a dojo that Shredder came in one day and said, "Oh yeah, you work for me." So the leader dressed up as so all these guys dressed up as Raphael, and they were in like a t-shirt, brown shorts, and had a paper bag over their face with like Raphael's mask on.
What?
Yeah, it looks so bad, and it almost looked a lot like Pulverizer's suit, just somehow better.
Oh god.
But yeah, okay, so yeah, moving on. There wasn't really too much after that. Basically, Tails got home and saw that Pulverizer was in the lair, and I mean, that's when Raph decides to tell him about um the Krang because then he can kill him. But then the Turtles go after Baxter Stockman. What do you think of this scene?
This scene was quite funny. I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of funny and not funny at the same time. Just how did they not hear the pulverizer scream on the back of the Razor Shell, like all the way back to the layer? And once again, no one saw this, so it's alright. So somehow no one saw this in New York, completely fine. And then, of course, he gets back, Donnie finds him, and of course, he's at the layer. I'm like, seriously, you're not just gonna throw him out? But no, you don't throw him out. You just leave him to run around the layer like he's your lost pet or something. And then of course he goes around the place looking at the stuff. And I realised something back in from episode, I think it was 4, maybe 5 or 6, where the he creates the turtle robot.
Yeah, I think that was
And of
episode
course,
5. I'm pretty sure.
5, yeah. Well, episode 5, the turtle robot that he still has after it almost killed his brothers is still there in his workshop. And I'm like, Donatello, I thought you learned
Really?
from your mistakes, but I guess not. And he just has it there, just
Yeah,
sitting there. And of course, the pulverizer's playing with it. I'm like, if he knew what that thing could do, then you would not be touching it. I certainly
yeah,
won't be touching it. But yeah, it was just funny just to see him go around the layer and just just wind up Donnie. Like I really did feel sorry for Donatello looking, but just babysitting after this guy, this buffoon
Mm.
of like a vigilante. Honestly, I just felt so sorry for him. Like I really did feel sorry. Like I felt his pain. Like I felt genuinely sorry for him because I just it's like looking after a toddler. It's just like, can you stop touching that? Don't play with that. And he just doesn't listen, honestly. But I found that quite funny.
I like how a few minutes ago you're saying that you wish this character got beaten up, and now you're saying that you feel sorry for the guy because he's like a toddler.
Oh no 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 no! I felt sorry for Donatello, not for the pulverizer. No, the pulverizer can go all the way, like can just go. I felt sorry for
Jeez,
Donatello,
okay.
not the pulverizer.
Okay. It must admit, it does sound like you have more hatred for the Pulverizer than than for the Krang right now.
They are similar levels right now. Like they're on the chart and they're just like they're neck and neck with each other right now. Unless the pulverizer is in future episodes and he actually does something right, yeah, he ain't moving off the chart with the Krang. So he's sticking close to the Krang right now.
Yeah, I'll just say that it was like a really nice callback to episode 5 and gave the episode a bit more like another purpose for the watching episode. I do think it would have been quite cool if you could have actually seen Pulverizer in episode 5 looking out the window. Um, but yeah, I also like how Raph wants deliberately tells him about the Krang just to purposely kill him, and he has my utmost respect for that. Um,
Mm,
and then
definitely.
and then when they say out loud who's going to steal the tech, why does Mikey think that Donnie would hire the Pearl Dragons to steal some Krang tech?
I was gonna say that as well, actually. Like, just just Mikey has these euphoria moments, like just these bliss moments of bliss, and then moments of like absolute chaos, and it just I understand that Donnie would use this stuff. Like I'm surprised Donnie. Well, he probably did use. Actually, he did use it on Razor Shell. He used the Krang technology,
Yeah.
so I can see his logic behind it. So
Hmm.
yeah, I can see his logic behind it all.
Yeah, no, but why'd he go out his way to go and get the Pearl Dragons to go steal some tech to then fight them? That doesn't really make much sense.
I have no idea. Unless conspiracy theory right here,
Yeah.
Donatello is actually the mafia boss for the Purple Dragons, and he wants all the tech for himself. But he doesn't let his brothers know or anyone else know. So yeah, just a little conspiracy, just a little like spin off for you guys out there. So you could do what you please with it.
I would honestly like to see your idea after after watch like one version of Turtles. And I would honestly like to hear your idea for how you do like a Tell Show movie because you have some really interesting ideas that.
I've got a lot of them. Like, what happens if like the turtles don't go into like the ninja business? They go into the mafia business.
What the hell?
I'm just throwing it out there, throwing it out there. Some good ideas. I bet people right now listening to this podcast are writing down notes. Just like write it down, write that down.
Netflix is special.
Oh yeah, Netflix. If you're hearing this right now, I got some ideas. Ring me up. Ring up your boy.
Well, after that, Donnie attempts to teach the pulverizers some techniques with the bow staff, and then also we go into a montage of him learning some stuff, but well, that doesn't really work. What do you think of these scenes?
To be honest, I'm not too sure. The montage scenes, I'm just sitting there like, yep, it's part of it. So I'm just, to be honest, the montage, I didn't have really much to say for it, but it was all right. It was decent.
Yeah, okay, so for the when he's attempting to spin the bow, Sadly, that's about as far as I got with like actually doing any martial art. Even though I did like karate, judo, with actually using weapons, that's about as far as I got. So I'm as good as the pulverizer. I feel bad now. I feel really bad now.
No, you should never like put yourself on the level of Pulverizer. Like never,
Yeah.
never. That is like underestimation to the extreme levels. You should never ever refer yourself to Pulverizer ever. Like that's my number one rule. Just don't refer any, especially the Pulverizer,
Okay. Well.
to yourself.
Okay. I've got a okay. Can you do what he did with the bow staff in terms of like spinning around or not?
To be honest, I've never actually held any ninja weapons or like a staff or anything like that, so I'm clueless, just the same as you are. So
So you're worse off than a pulverizer then.
probably, yeah.
But yeah, with the and where's my notes for this scene? So with the montage bit, I when he was doing the bit after the spinning, he did like the jab and all that. I'm very disappointed the blade did not go into his head, but well,
Ah,
yeah. I thought that the montage was just really lame and bored, or not boring, just that type of humor that is not really funny, but it's trying to be funny. Um,
yeah.
I do think that the picture that Pulverizer did draw, that was amazing. And even though he can't do fighting, he can draw. And well, that picture was interesting to say the very least.
Yeah, what's he doing throwing his life away like trying to be a vigilante who can't even fight? Like you should become like an artist, bro. Like those skills, like that drawing on point. Like but nah, you want to become a vigilante instead, you know?
Yeah. And then after Splinter finds out about him, and tells Hunter that it's up to you now. Now the thing is, how did Splinter have the strength to pick Pulverizer up and lift him out his little room? I don't understand that. And then also the line about Splinter's talking to Johnny saying that basically Pulverizer has no business learning their martial arts. I would say it just sums up this whole episode and Pulverizer's character perfectly well.
Mm, yes, Splinter was right.
But what did you think of those scenes?
Well, just how he could just roly poly into Splinter's room just amazes me. Like, just why, how, and why. And of course, he rolls in, and then of course Splinter picks him up just with like one hand, like he's some sort of like pet. I'm like, yeah, Splinter is mad, and I thought Splinter was actually gonna kill him. To be honest, it's like, yo, we've got an intruder in here. He's just gonna pull out his karate moves and just absolutely annihilate him. And of course, Donatello's got to clean up the mess afterwards. But no, didn't happen.
Yeah.
But just seeing that, just like just Splinter was right, Donny. Why didn't you just listen to Splinter's advice? Like Splinter is always right, and now he's saying, "Oh look, this is your pet, this is your mess. I'm going to give you the responsibility and see where it goes. I'm out. Bye." That's all he does.
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm not dealing with this today. Like you can deal with it, Donny, not me."
True parent.
True parent.
Yeah, and then after that we do have it tells show up to Baxter's place, and they find Zeva, who now has his legs, and Mikey gives him the name Fish Face, and he starts to fight the turtles. Okay, so the first question is, what did you think of Fish Face?
Fish Face was definitely a downgrade from Cypher. Like
Hmm.
you could have called him anything else, but Fish Face, like you could have called him. Um, actually, oh no, I'm stuck. I'm trying to figure out fish names now that could be really cool for Cypher, but
I
I
like.
think Fish Face is kind of suiting.
I did like the Robo you know, the other one he gave Robo.
Oh, RoboCop,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like
I
that.
like that one.
Yeah, I do like it, but it is so close to RoboCop, which
I'm just
I think that's the reason why they couldn't use it.
Yes, people are going to be saying, "Oh, RoboCop" instead of RoboCop.
Yeah,
Like the copyright's there. You could just see it now.
yeah, yeah. What did you think the scene with the turtles fighting Fish Face?
I'm not gonna lie, Fishface is certainly a unique character. Like he's got the agility, the flexibility, and the skills and the power behind those legs. Like, damn, he did not miss. He did not skip leg day. Let's just say that. But he was just. I'm not gonna lie, he was very weird because he's like flying all over the room. The turtles can't seem to pinpoint on where he's gonna be, and then of course, out of complete nowhere, Fishface bites Raph on the shoulder and somehow gets poisoned. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, what type of fish is he? Like I just don't get it. Like, it was just crazy, this fight scene. Just trying to understand it all. Like I said, this episode was crazy for me to understand.
Mm.
But overall, that fight scene was quite good. Like, I loved where Raph was delusional. Like, just seeing him, his eyes were like weird and he was tripping out or something. And then, of course, Mikey comes along, asks, oh, this is my favorite part in the episode. Like, he comes along and says, Raph, are you alright? It's like, and then Raphael says, I love you, Mikey. And then you know, and then Mikey knows, and then you know that Raph is not alright. He is far from alright. Like, you need to get him to a hospital or something ASAP because you know he's losing it right now. So you got to get him somewhere safe because
Yeah,
that ain't him. That's not right. When Raph starts being nice, that's when you got to start panicking. That's when you got to start worrying. It's like, yeah, this ain't right. It's like this ain't Raph.
yeah. I'd say that the whole fight scene between Fishface and Toes, I thought it was like really cool just to see Fishface's abilities, what he can do, and what he could do in his new body. I did find it was quite cool, and I do think it would have been a little bit more interesting to have this fight like underwater, definitely show off more of his abilities and show off his like his unique abilities with water. And, like there's a word which I'm looking to describe, but I can't describe it. But yeah, I think it would have been quite cool to have a fight underwater. Um, but do you think that Fishface was maybe a bit too overpowered in the scene just for the sake of being a new mutant, show he's an evil threat and stuff like that? Because he moves way
Mm.
too fast. Like in future episodes to come, he's not this fast, and I do think it just because it was his first introduction type thing. Yeah, I also feel
It was just so weird.
yeah, I also feel as though with Fishface biting him with his big teeth, he probably should have stabbed him.
Yeah, I thought it went straight for his shell and killed him. I'm like, God damn.
I do think that Raph being poisoned with saying, "Oh, like at the end, going, Donny, I love you, unicorn," and stuff like that. It was very sad in a bad way. Like sad, it was a sad scene, not in like emotional sad, but like when you see like a really good character and it's just reduced to a joke.
Oh yes,
Yeah, to me it felt
yes.
like that, and somehow it made Mikey
How?
look good.
Yeah, somehow. Oh, I just want to quickly in the fight scene with Mikey. Somehow Mikey flips a switch in the back of his head and becomes like like a family figure. Like he's defending his brother. Like not even trying. And there's fight scenes going on. Of course, the purple dragons are like fighting him as well. And then of course he just protects Raph like it's like a brother. And it was so weird just seeing him how he could just throw his nunchucks back and just throw the guy over the top while he's still looking after his brother. I'm like, this is where Mikey gets his bliss moments and euphoria moments, and then of course he just goes back to being Mikey afterwards. I don't know how he just switches that switch on and off like at will.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely have to say, like, agree in that regard. Basically, saying basically, when Mikey is not reduced to a like forced into making a joke because they need to make a joke, he is like an actually really good character, and he is sometimes funny. And I do think that more or less this is sort of where the show was more or less forced into doing stuff like that, because he is like a really good character, emotional and stuff like that. But when he is forced into making a joke, such as the one at the very beginning of the episode, with him saying, got loads, or I'm very get distracted easily. Oh, gum. That just made his character look really bad. But like here, with him looking out for his brother, and almost having like a joking moment with saying, like when Raph vomited, saying, "Oh yeah, I knew you in my last pizza." I thought that was quite funny, and I think that like the balance which I was trying to go for, it doesn't really work too well, and I feel like there's so many other like examples and problems with the show, but still I feel like that might be a good example. And do you think that maybe one of the reasons why that Mikey's more or less like this is sort of because at the time this is sort of like when Teen Titans Go was kicking off, and I wouldn't be surprised if that show had something to do with this one. I know they're on different networks, but I'm not too sure if maybe with the result or the success of Teen Titans Go and the humor it went for on that show, maybe rubbed off on this one. They had to do something like that, but I'm not too sure. But it really does seem something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and then afterwards we got Donnie crashing through the building in the Shellraiser, shoots fish face, and then the whole Shellraiser is being executed because of the power cell as it's come undone. So then Toes have to escape, and that's when they have a cool fight scene with the Krang. What did you think of that scene?
This scene, I'm not gonna lie, was pretty cool because we saw the Shellraiser in action. Because we saw all the toys that the Shellraiser come out as, and I'm not gonna lie, I like Raph on the weapon system because it suits Raph so much. Like he just comes out and is like just fires everything, and the weapons like I'm going on a deep level here, like turtle psychology of the universe right here. Like Raph is perfect for the weapons because the weapons show his anger, and it gets out all his anger on his enemies just by firing, and that's the perfect role for him, I think, in the Shellraiser.
I'll do that. I'll do one question is with Raph shooting the manhole covers. How did Donny get so many manhole covers and it not being like a problem in the city with them?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I didn't question that for some odd reason. It's like, oh yeah, manholes, like you know, they just appear out of nowhere. There are infinite manholes to find. I'm like, yeah, how did he steal them? Jeez.
I can understand the garbage because he can make that, but the manhole cover thing. I mean, it's sold the toys, so I guess that's good enough for a reason.
Yeah. As long as it makes profit, we don't care.
Oh yeah, before we did it. Because before we do go back onto this, this vehicle was released alongside with the toys before the show came out, and I think it was around that sort of time. Also, like how the fact the Showraiser was in the show from episode one in terms of the intro, but we don't get to see it till now. But with
mm.
the vehicle, I must admit, watching this episode and it really does bring back a few memories from opening up the Showraiser like 10 years ago. Oh god, the toy is nothing like the actual vehicle, and the toy is a lot worse. Uh,
Oh,
because you got the one because you got the cannon on top, which that sort of works. I think that was like a missile in there, but it doesn't have the chumpy bits at the front of it, the bumper thing. Doesn't have that. It doesn't have the cannon where Raph shoots manhole covers. However,
what?
it does have a trap or has a door that if you fold it open, a tool will come out, and when you move the vehicle, the tail spins around and kicks your enemies, just like in the show.
Wow.
Yeah, this it's not really accurate, but well, they got
They
fake.
got rid of all the good stuff.
Yeah, it was not a good vehicle, but it got 30 quid out of my parents, so good for them, I guess. You have to say that this but the fight scene I thought was a really cool fight scene, and definitely did show off more the Krang serious side. I think that was like quite a good thing. Um, but then you get into the last bit of the episode where the Krang get hold of the power cell and about to leave, but then Timothy's in the way. Oh my god! I just this scene frustrates me so much because I mean the Turtles could have easily gone to stop the Krang with the power cell. They could have stopped all the other Krang there. Why the Krang all suddenly like really tough in this particular scene? And then when Pulveriser was getting attacked by the other Krang, could none of the other turtles gone over and defeated him? I mean, if he got shot and died, then well, I feel like that's a win-win situation. But this whole scene frustrates me so much because the turtles could easily have defeated him, but because they needed this scene to be the win. Oh, to speak. I said my piece.
Yeah, I understand your pain, mate. I understand. I could just hear it in your voice. I have the same. I have the same thing. And also, I just want to bring up the Krang fly now.
Yeah.
That's new. The Krang fly now. That's just
Oh yeah, talk about that.
like they fly, and I'm just thinking, what? How? Just when did this become a thing? And I'm just, like I said, crazy episode, but just it was just I understand like how you feel with the pulverizer. Like he was just in the way, and of course when he had the power source, and then he didn't, and then of course he tried to slide tackle a Krang. Like I understand that you were trying to help, but the Krang is made out of solid metal. Like you're not gonna be able to move this thing, and just seeing him fail was just I kind of my heart just went, yeah, this is just it was an episode that will not be remembered in my books, but you're right, they could have just taken it out so easily. They could have just I'm to be honest, I'm speechless with this scene. Like I understand, I completely 100% agree with you. It is so frustrating to see Donatello pick the power source over the pulverizer. Like, I know it's a human life and they're protecting human lives, but come on, you gotta have some collateral damage. Like, would he be missed? Maybe, maybe not. You just, I don't think he would be missed, but hey ho.
Sacrifices need to be made.
Yes, exactly. Sacrifices need to be made, and sometimes it's human lives that need to be sacrificed for the greater good. But Donnie has a big heart and decides to go and save the pulverizer instead. And then, of course, the power cell gets away. And of course, now they don't have a ride anymore because they need a new power source. And I'm like, I'm not going to see the Shell Razor in action for quite a while, and that's pretty sad. Just the pulverizer is just a menace to the Turtles.
I
A
see if I
menace to
I see if I get more angry with this section now.
Oh yes, yes, he's going. You know what, Pulverizer is like he's not equal to. He's worse than the Krang. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Krang have more popularity in this episode than all the episodes combined
Damn.
over this one character. And this is serious because I don't
Oh
like
yeah.
the Krang. For those who have been watching this podcast since the beginning, I've had a strong passion and dislike of the Krang because of just how they operated and just how they just how they are. They're just the Krang, alright? Pieces of gum. And just seeing the pulverizer somehow beating the Krang, and on my chart it's horrible to look at right now. Just seeing the pulverizer take the position take over the position of the Krang in this episode was just, I could just the rage. But yeah, I think he could have like been sacrificed, and of course the turtles could have gotten the power source. That's my lot. I can't say anymore because otherwise I will go on and on
Oh
and
yeah.
on.
Okay, so there's two things which I'd like to quickly add. So the first one is, why would Johnny take the power cell underground to where the lair is? That will just reveal where the lair is as well, and he's supposed to be the smart one.
Oh
uh,
my god, yeah.
and then,
What the hell, Donny?
yeah, I don't think he needs so much more than that. Otherwise, we're just gonna get in rage again.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
Yep.
but then, like going off this whole our little argument, or not argument, but like our hatred for this scene, it's all this like this episode as well as the Panic in the Sewer episode are really good examples of my problems with the show, where it either has really good interesting ideas that are not really expanded upon that well, or not horribly expanded upon, and stuff like that, or you get scenes like this which are just so frustrating and stuff like that, which you know that they could easily do something a lot better. I'm not trying to say that the Rise could come up with a different scene, but I'm talking about the characters in that moment they could do better. And like, God,
Yeah, I understand your pain, mate. Like, this episode was hard for me to watch too. It was just,
yeah,
it was just,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, this episode will not be remembered as in my top 10. That's all I can say.
What do you think about this episode overall? Well, I feel like I've already got your good example of what you think of it.
Yeah, this episode was, it started off good and somehow ended in complete tragedy. Like, a complete, utter, like, shell shock of a disaster. Like, I just, like the Pulveriser. Okay, I thought he was going to be a good character. Like with that pickup line, it took me. Like the Pulveriser is like, oh my god, this guy is going to be badass. He's going to be awesome. And then by the end of it, I have a huge amount of rage towards him. That just his mentality and his ways, and he's up on the chart above the Krang. I don't get this. Like somehow a character has beaten the Krang. Like this, my brain. I just, it was an episode that will not be remembered as one of my top 10. That's all I can say. Otherwise, I will just explode.
Yeah, I think this episode has some. It has some good. I will say this. It has some really good fight scenes, but the Pulverizer really brings this episode down so much. And as we've already mentioned, or we, well, as you got frustrated, the final fight scene that really brings the episode down. But yeah, I'll even go as far as to say that last fight scene was even worse than the cringe scenes with April and Donnie. I know that they're bad, but like at least you can watch them and get past it. With this, it changes my opinion on the entire show. I'd say, and that is like really disappointing because I must admit, like watching it as a kid, I enjoyed the show. I didn't really think too much of this episode, um, but I did have like a, oh god, they could have done that a bit differently. But as I've grown up and now, like, definitely like saying that I've grown up and know a lot more as life and myself, like everything about that. That's changed. So as I was watching like a few years ago, I did notice all these problems within the show, but noticing it today, because I want like I've really enjoyed doing this podcast, doing one episode week by week, and has definitely sparked my interest back into this version of Turtles. But after watching this episode, it really makes me wonder why I'm still watching this version.
Wow, I have never heard you say that before. Like questioning to watching a turtle series. That is big coming from you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, because with the series after this, which was Rise, it took a more comedic tone and more or less sort of like Teen Titans Go type humor, but it did it in a good way. And the thing is, I can respect the show for doing that because it was designed specifically for a certain target audience, and it was not trying to hide it, but also like wanting to keep the respect for the old fans, and it did a pretty good job of doing the new and old, not really pissing off too many people or trying their hardest not to. But this show is trying to do everything all at once, but yet failing at most things, and it's all just made me one. It just really made me question like a lot about the show. I know that like this is more or less your first time watching or introduction to Tales in general, so you're probably not really thinking that much head or thinking too much of it. But then again, it may just be me because of. But you know what? Let's just move on, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, going on to the comments. This will hopefully cheer us up. Um. Okay, so why it's not loading? Oh, great. Um, so the first one is by RC 8015. They because I put on the thing. This was before I actually rewatched the episode. I put that I thought that this episode has some good fights, but such as the Krang versus Toes, which I'm actually now starting to regret that in a way. And I thought that the fish face fight was good, but the pulverizing was annoying. I really wish I had watched the episode before I wrote this comment, because otherwise I would have a lot more people agree with me. Be very specific about the pulverizer. But from the RC guy, they put. I agree with you. The episode is fine. The fights are pretty cool, but the pulverizer is just so hard to watch. I think it's been summarized in best. Donatello, he has no business learning our art. He is a doofus. Yeah.
Yeah, I could agree with you on that one, mate.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is actually coming from people who enjoy the show a lot more than me. I know that I'm a big Tail fan, but I'm not a like overly big fan of this version. I'll watch it and I do enjoy it, but not as 2003. So this is actually coming from really big fans of the show who think it's the best version and definitive version. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, Freelance Wolf is back, and they put the episode had quite a few funny scenes, but yes, Pulverizer is very annoying. I'm pretty darn sure he was designed to be annoying though, as it ties into another thing in the future. He's someone you're supposed to root for, but Donnie shouldn't have been too upset about what happened to him, as it wasn't his fault at all. I don't know really. But
Mm,
I did reply back to that and saying that more or less they did make a Mikey type character, and I do think I more or less do agree with that. Where like he's designed to be a comedic character, but was forced into the show. Um, just like there's no reason, there's no need for a comedic character or anything like that. And considering that this is more or less like a and like this is actually like a sort of important episode with one the fish face was introduced, as well as the Krang power source and stuff like that. So them get back was like quite a big thing for the show. But to use a episode like this as a important one, it really like makes me question just like how well would I handle like more serious stuff in the future, because I know that they've handled the episode with first battle with Shredder, Karai. Those were like story episodes and they were really good. But when you get to an episode like this,
mm.
it really makes you just question a lot of things.
Yeah, it makes you think.
Yeah.
This episode has brought out a lot of stuff today. It has brought out
We've been through
a lot of
emotions.
things. Yes, we've been through a lot.
Okay, do you want to hear some trivia? Hopefully that'll put us on the right track to happiness.
Yes, definitely. I need it.
Well, okay, we'll start off with a really good, interesting trivia. It's the first appearance of the Shell Razor.
Yay!
I mean, that's not really much of a fact. Oh, God. While the pulverizer is poking around in Donnie's lab, one of the things he touches is an inactive metalhead. Sever is officially named Fishface in this episode and has functioning legs now. The pulverizer is the second human to be in the lair officially. Hmm. The
Oh
pulver.
yeah, because of April.
Yeah, that is actually quite sad now.
Oh God, no. Ah,
The pulverizer learning ninjutsu from Donnie is similar to Casey learning from the Toes in 2003 show. case you didn't learn from 2000. Okay, well, that's wrong. The shell razor weapons that Raph uses has foot stings, graffiti, which is exactly like the Toll party wagon toy that was inspired from the 80s cartoon. Um, the shell razor shows off some of the built-in weapons, such as a sweetie sock shooter, the claw. The pulverizer
Hmm.
costume resembles the 80s Toll's design a little bit. RoboCop is a spoof of the main character from 1987 film RoboCop. I still get to see that
Oh yeah,
film. Uh, Have you seen
good
the,
film.
have you seen that film before?
Good film.
Okay, moving on. I don't want to annoy you even more. We do have one error. When Pulverizer flashbacks to when he saw the turtles, he's shown to have already been wearing the Pulverizer costume. I wouldn't really say it's more of an error. I think it's just more they just had a character rig and they couldn't be asked to change it. And oh, do you even care at this point? Okay, so for the cast, Phil Lamar plays Baxter Stockman, Rob Paulson plays Donatello, Nolan North plays the Krang, Jason Biggs plays Leonardo, Greg Sight plays Michelangelo. I'm going to leave the Polarizer tool last, as I feel like you might know the actor.
Yeah, I was thinking. I do know that voice.
Okay, we'll get on to that in a second. Sean Astin voices Raphael. Christian Lans plays Fishface. Some minor characters are Mental Head. I wouldn't really class him as a character. We've got Andrew Kishnu plays Fong, and Sid. The other Pearl Dragon member doesn't have a voice. um,
Hmm.
Hoonley plays Splinter. Okay, so who do you think plays Pulverizer?
I oh, his name is so. I I know his voice. His voice is famous. Like heard his voice before in so many episodes in other stuff that I've watched throughout the years of my childhood, and I know his voice,
Could
but I
you
just can't remember his name.
do we tell you who it is?
Yes, please.
Roger Craig Smith.
Yes,
So yeah.
yes.
Okay, so he's born August 11th, 1975. He's 47. He's an American voice actor known as Roger C. Smith. He's generally known as the current voice behind Chris Redfield in the Resident Evil series, as Izo Ordaz, he's in Assassin's Creed, uh, as the hang on, Ezra in the Assassin's Creed game as Didrod in Naruto Shippuden. Oh, Didrod in Naruto. Thomas in the regular show. As the current English game in the Sega mascot Sonic Hedgehog. For this, and also he's also been in. If you've seen like the Avengers TV show, Avengers Assemble. He played Captain America. I think he's like quite a famous one. He's been like quite a lot of stuff, and I feel like this doesn't really do him justice. Um,
Mm,
One of the more funny things which I found out quite recently was in the series that came after this. One of the villains was played by John Cena, and after the first season he left. I'm not too sure what. I thought maybe if he was filming something. I think maybe he's something to do with Suicide Squad. I think that maybe around that sort of time. Um, but yeah, and he does like a really good John Cena Baron Draxon voice, surprisingly well.
what?
Yeah, um, yeah, he does a really good Baron Draxon. No, John Cena voice, surprisingly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I gotta hear this now.
I'll try and send you over a clip or something later. Um, but he's like a really talented person. Like, but with someone with that much talent, why would you give him a character like that?
Yes, thank you. I was actually just gonna say that. Like, Don't get me wrong, the voice actor, absolutely love him. He is like the guy from my childhood. Like he's done all the voice characters for everything that I've watched and played, and then just to see him with this character, this like they done him wrong. Like this character has done the voice actor has done Roger so wrong, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, but I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
this character really brought him down. Like just looking at all the other stuff, he's been in the Iron Man and Captain America Heroes United series. He's been in Wreck-It Ralph. He's been in
Oh,
Arcane. He's been in this Assassin's Creed. Like
oh my! I did not know
all
that. Wow.
no.
No, I don't know. It was Wreck-It Ralph or the Captain America thing. Oh my.
Oh yeah, he's in tons of movies. He's even in the new Arcane stuff, which is the League of Legends show at the moment. He's been in Batman Ninja. He's been in Planes Resident
Oh
Evil
my.
series, the Red Sun El Superman, which I never knew.
Oh my god. They're
And he's
reading.
been in Iron Man 2010 TV series, Marvel Rising,
Oh,
Wreck-It Ralph 2, Avengers, Breadwinners,
oh my god. They're reading dirty.
the Lego Marvel Superhero
Oh.
series of Black Panther.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he's even been in Ben 10. Like, they really done him dirt.
Yeah. Oh my. I feel like he should be like playing like Splinter or Shredder or like some like important character.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree with you there. Like, this guy is incredible. And guess what? He's also been in
Naruto.
Naturo.
Naruto.
Naruto, yeah. Naruto, Jesus Christ, what forgot the name. But yeah, he's even been in that show.
Yeah,
But
that.
yeah, I can't say the name. I butcher it every time. But yeah, this guy is incredible for what he's done, and I feel like this character has just really brought him down.
Oh my damn.
Have I just blown your mind right now?
Yeah. I mean, I felt a bit ashamed because I'm not the person to be like, oh yeah, he's this voice actor. He's been this and this and this. But oh my god, I've not realised that. Like, because I did look a bit into like some like sometimes I look into some voice actors, but Roger Craig Smith has never been one which I feel which I now thought, oh yeah, I'll look into him and see. But after him what he's done, I'm like, oh my god, he is just so talented.
He is. And guess what? He's also been in the Batman Arkham Originals
Oh my,
series.
what hasn't this person been in?
Assassin's Creed, Batman Arkham. Oh my, I'm just looking at his IMBDM right now, and this guy he's just incredible. Like, I'm just looking through the stuff that he's been in, and like I knew he was in a lot, but I just never knew how much he was in. Like, he's a lot in the Batman series, he's in the Sonic series, Ultraman, like Young Justice series as
What?
well.
And did you play in Young Justice?
Roger Craig, he played as in the Young Justice as Leviathan Wakes, as the voice of Orm. Emergency Dive, the voice of Orm as well. Eddie Tide,
Oh
the
my god.
Orm, Ocean Master, and Rodham, and Nautical Twilight, Orm and the Ocean Master as well. And Prince Orm, Ocean Master, and the reporter voice as well. And there is,
Oh my
oh my gosh,
god.
he's in a lot of Young Justice series. I'm going to be here all day.
Yeah, no, just don't.
I keep looking at this. Oh my gosh, it
Oh
keeps going.
my god. I never knew. Oh my. Like, okay, so most things would be like, oh yeah, that's real remote childhood, but like, oh my god, I don't know what to say. How did I not
I've
know
blown
about
your mind
this? Oh my god.
because I don't know either. Honestly, he's so famous within our childhoods. Like he's been in every show that we've watched as kids, and yeah, this has made my day. This has.
He's made my day because I know where he's been, but at the same time, it's the pulverizers. Screw the pulverizer. Yay, Roger Gray Smith.
Yeah, just praise Roger Craig Smith for even attempting to try and take this character somewhere. Like, good on him, but this guy is a living legend.
Yeah, no, okay, the only good. Okay, you know what? Change of opinion. Pulveriser only has two good things about him. One, his entrance and the voice actor. That's the only.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing we're pulling from this today is that his voice actor is incredible and the entrance. That's it. Nothing else. He's just he's not with us.
Okay. So the thing is, I still want them to kill Pulveriser, but in a way, I still don't want them to as much now because he's Roger Craig Smith.
It is Roger Craig Smith, like the legend himself.
I was,
So,
I was just going. This is all become like our new meme, basically, because you know how we got. Oh, it's unrealistic. Just go into like every episode. Oh yeah, I wish Baxter was played by Roger Craig Smith. Oh, I wish this person was played.
oh yeah, definitely.
uh, yeah. Okay, so for the next episode, is called TCRI. What do you think is going to happen in that episode?
ECRI. I have. Is it an acronym or is it an actual word?
Is an acronym for something? I
ECRI.
It has something to do. Okay. So the thing is, next week we'll be having the Krang in it, and TCRI has something to do with the Krang, but no Pulveriser.
Hmm.
Yay!
Oh, thank God. TCRI, Turtle Connection Recon Initiative. I'm just throwing out random
Yeah,
words
no,
right now.
you're far off for it.
Yeah, I'm far off. I'm completely gone. But TCRI, why do they keep throwing out these acronyms? Ugh.
This acronym has been no, this acronym has been around from the very beginning of the Turtles. I'm not explaining the reason why here because I feel like it may be something a bit more when you hear it. I'll explain next week because yeah, but like it's been around ever since Toes was has been around basically.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, it's as old as the Turtles.
Wow. Right. To be honest, I have no idea then. I have no idea. Like, it should be known, but I have no idea. So I'm gonna have to wait till next week's episode to come out
Yeah,
and
I mean,
just see how it goes. Like, I'm gonna kick myself for it, like I do most episodes. Like, I'm just gonna have like the moment. It's like, why? It was so easy, but I just couldn't get it. I'm just gonna have one of those moments.
oh no, no, you won't really, just because with this version of TSRI, it's not like how it is with all the other versions. So when you when you see when you see it in the next episode, it's not going to be as accurate to what it was. So so it's going to be one of those things. Basically, you'll be like, TSRI, oh that means nothing to me. But like if you was to watch the other version of the Turtles, you'll be like, oh my god, I can't believe. Or no, it's mainly just 2003. It'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe it was that. I mean, it's a good way for like, it's a good way for like, I mean, it's a good thing about they're adapting it for the show and making it something new. But at the same time, you're disrupting history and lore. I've got a feeling next week I might go on another rant.
Yeah, I could see it happening.
Yeah. Well, normally this would be part where I say the thing else to say about this episode, but I feel like we've already said enough.
I think we've said enough today. I'm all out
Yeah.
of things to say. Otherwise, it will just be just disrespecting the pulverizer.
No, no. Disrespecting Roger Craig Smith. Screw the pulverizer.
Oh yeah, let's praise Roger Craig Smith. Let's hear it for Roger Craig Smith, everyone.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, yeah. If you guys want to leave a comment, you can do so on Anchor through a voice message or through a text message. You can do it by the community tab on YouTube or by the YouTube video. Or every week there'll be a little post on Reddit. You can go over there and comment. But yeah, this has been another episode of Talking Tolls. I've been your host Teddy,
I've been Hayden.
and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye, yo. Bye.
Bye.